So I wanted to comment on something I said in my SmackDown video, which if you haven't seen, you should go watch. And the thing on that thing was I was talking about how I like various people in wrestling who are currently also sort of feuding with other people that I like. And you know, I'm a I'm a Smark probably. Um, I mean, I've been a wrestling fan on and off since I remember King Haku. Actually, I remember King Harley Race when he did that gimmick in WWF. I remember the Heenan family. I remember Big John Studd. Um, I remember Stampede Wrestling, which is one of those things that like 90% of you aren't even going to know what that is. And Stampede Wrestling was Stu Hart's territorial wrestling. And it got bought out by Vince McMahon at one point. That's where Owen Hart got his start. That's where obviously Bret Hart got his start. But lots of other people stopped in it too. British Bulldog, Dynamite Kid. Wait, I'm just realizing that a whole bunch of you aren't going to know who the Dynamite Kid is. Oh, you poor people. Anyways, so, but like, yeah, and why do I like that? Because I like people, and if I sat and had to remember everybody's heel and face dynamic, especially in these sort of morally gray times since the Attitude Era, where you're never quite sure who is doing what, because goddamn if you miss a couple episodes and you're like, why is this way? Anyways, but like we had people like Edge who were technically babyface. A lot of his run he was babyface, not heel. Often he was heel too. Like he went back and forth, but you didn't always know where he was because he would do some very despicable things while being a babyface. And we saw it with Randy Orton because let's face it, Randy Orton is a much better heel than he is a babyface. So that was also a dynamic that happened as well, right? So you're doing that, and you're doing that other thing, right? So, and you develop attachment to people, not with facings. So, as I mentioned in that video, I like Randy Orton, and I've always liked Randy Orton. I think I've always liked Randy Orton. I can't remember a time I didn't like Randy Orton. And he was scum a lot. Like he was scum a lot. So, it's something to keep in mind. I like Kevin Owens. I had Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. I like both of those people. Granted, they're both Canadian, therefore my Canadian bias kicks in. In the same vein of, I like Lance Storm, who was definitely a heel at times, but usually because he was Canadian, not because he was innately a bad person, kind of thing. And that is something to remember, because Bret Hart's heel run was largely the same. I mean, there was a bit of people treat me terrible, which they did. I'm supposed to be the champion, and they treat me terrible, which they did. As Cultaholic put it so succinctly, Bret Hart was a great champion, despite how the organization treated him. Or at least in WWE. In WCW, it's a completely different dynamic, and it's a complete, utter mishandle from day one, and it never gets better. So, yeah. And then Goldberg. Bill Goldberg. Ugh! So, as a consequence, that segues into the I hate people and still hate people. I still bear a grudge against Shawn Michaels. It's a really small grudge at this point, but I still bear a small. I will be the guy that if you put Shawn Michaels in front of me in an arena, I will be one of the people booing. Just because. I mean, that's a thing, right? Bill Goldberg. Never connected. Never sustained. Bit of just a douchebag. And just to say, just because you hose somebody that I like, doesn't make you immediately in my bad books. Because let's face it, I mean, there are some wrestlers that I like, have now delved into the problematic, where you're sitting there going like, but also like things where you're just like, yeah, no, I mean, there have definitely been times where Edge has been bad to Christian, and I like both of those people, even though they're in AEW, and I barely get to see them now because I am not buying another streaming service. But, and I think that's a dynamic, and I don't really think that I'm alone here in this kind of dynamic where we end up with situations where we've got people we like on both sides of a feud, or or a faction war, right? Where you're sitting there and going like, I like that guy, and I like that guy, and I really wish they actually, do you wish they got along? Because I'm not sure I do. As long as you get good matches out of it, as long as there's good chemistry, as long as there's good show. Wrestling is about entertainment. So as long as it's good, does it matter where people are? Does it matter if you like them? I mean, yeah, it does matter like them, and because you buy stuff, right? Here's my Simon Miller shirt. Because Simon's the best. The best. I will not hear otherwise. Also, he's a really great guy, and if you did not see his ups and downs for Raw, because that was outside the building in Glasgow, that was special. That was really good, and it shows just how nice a man Simon is. As a person and as a wrestling fan, you really get that thing that he really enjoys that. So anyways, shout out to Simon Miller, because he's the best. Anyways, you guys all have a good day.